Well, Impact sure started off with a bang this week now, didn't it? Because the show kicks off and you got Austin Aries and Bobby Roode and Kenny King and Xena Ion fighting at the top of the stage. But this is a hell of a way to open the show, I'll tell you that much. This was a fast-paced match all the way through, and the finish was good. Kenny King going over the X Division champion, Xena Ion, and God, it was the right decision, I thought, and I mean, King should be in line for another X Division title shot, you'd have to think, and I think it was a really good way to open up the show, I thought. Alright, so you got Sting coming down to the ring, talking about Ace and Eights, and then he promptly calls down James Storm to the ring, and he talks about Kurt Angle, who he's facing tonight in the main event. And he's talking about how he's attacked by him about 9 months ago. Then Kurt Angle comes down to the ring, and he brings up some valid points about how Storm could be possibly aligned with the group, you know. 2 weeks ago, before their scheduled match, he ends up getting attacked in the back by Ace and Eights. And then last week, during the AJ Styles match with him against Storm, that they attacked AJ, but they didn't touch Storm at all. Then that match between Bully Ray and Kurt Angle last week at the end of Impact, they all come out to attack Angle again, and then with AJ and Aries and Sting come down to help out, and then Storm comes down to be the hero of the day, and they all up and leave. So they bring I mean, they're really planting the seeds of doubt about James Storm here. So wow, it's hard to say if they're actually going to make him the ringleader of this group, but it'll be interesting to see. Well, there were 2 BFG series matches tonight. First one being Bully Ray, as he comes down to the ring, he's sending out a tweet. I mean, he's kind of getting big on this social media thing as of late, but taking on that little gerbil Robbie E, and Bully Ray basically destroys him in about 2-3 minutes. God, even with the help from his bouncer Robbie T, God, he couldn't get any offense in besides that, and Bully Ray owns him and poons him and whatever, and he gets the 7 points, and that's exactly how it should have went. Because Robbie E, you fucking suck. One difference between TNA and WWE is that TNA actually spotlights their knockouts. Unlike WWE, who basically treats them as a sideshow attraction. But anyway, you got Tara, you got Mickie James, you got Gail Kim, and you got that goat-faced Madison Rayne. And when you saw Earl Hebner in the ring as the referee, you're just thinking, God, what kind of shenanigans are gonna happen here? Because you saw the match last week when Mickie James clearly had the pinfall on Madison Rayne by pulling up her shoulder, and Madison Rayne gets the pinfall. I mean, just because Earl Hebner's a 63-year-old man fiddling around with somebody that's almost young enough to be his granddaughter, and 26-year-old Madison Rayne. But anyway, when I saw Earl Hebner out there in this match, and it's just like, I was like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. Madison Rayne's gonna be the number 1 contender for the knockout title? Well, yeah, damn right she is. God, this just boggles my mind. When you got people like Gail Kim and Mickie James and Tara in this match, and Madison Rayne's your number 1 contender to take on Tessmacher? Seriously? What the fuck? It's like, please don't tell me that at Hardcore Justice or wherever Rayne's going to get her title shot, that she's going to be the next knockout champion. Oh, please. Anybody but that fucking goat face. Next. So you saw next. You saw Sting and talking to Brooke Hogan in her office, talking about how her dad's doing, and then a little ways into it, she gets an envelope with her name on it and pulls it out, and there's aces and eights on that. So, gee, you think there's gonna be some kind of a woman in this group then trying to take out Brooke, or is it more of a message being sent to her father? So then you get the TNA wrestling debut of Chavo Guerrero taking on Kid Kash, and he's got Gunner in his corner, and Chavo comes out there with Super Max Hernandez, and crowd was actually really behind Chavo in this match, and I mean it's a good spot for him. I mean, Chavo's not gonna be like a main event type wrestler, but the guy can work, and they're actually booking him better than his last days in WWE when he was jobbing a Hornswoggle on a nightly basis. Wow. So then you see Kurt Angle in the back. He's talking to the son of WWE Hall of Famer Gerald Briscoe, talking to Wes Briscoe. I mean, this is kind of a good way to introduce his character, and I wouldn't be surprised if he ends up being part of the Aces and Eights group, but it's a good way to bring him in. And he says he's going to be down in the ringside area for the match later on between him and Storm. And you see Devon and Garrett Bischoff coming up to talk to Angle as well, and they say they're going to be down there as well. So the more the merrier, I guess. So then now you have the baby shower with Christopher Daniels and Kazarian throwing it for Claire Lynch, that frickin' whore. Anyway, this actually it was a pretty good segment, but if Claire Lynch were a better actress, this would have been a lot better. And you know, the big payoff on all this, they better fucking bring in Maury Povich himself, or somebody like a Steve Wilkos or Jerry Springer even. I would love to see, after the baby is born, I want to know who this father really is. So when it comes to 2-month-old Junior, AJ Styles, you are not the father. So then finally we get to the match with Kurt Angle and James Storm, and as promised, Stinger and Devon and Garrett Bischoff come down to the ringside area. You got Wes Briscoe out there. And later on during the match, you got Bully Ray coming out, and then Bobby Roode ends up coming down there, and then A Double's out in the ring area, in the ramp. But it was almost kind of like a Breakfast Club finish in WWE, you know. Kurt Angle had the angle lock on Storm for what seemed like the longest time. And then he ends up getting out of it, and then about 10 seconds later, he hits the last call super kick on Angle to get the 7 points in the victory. Then afterwards, they have their little show of mutual respect. Yeah, that's good and all. And then Storm ends up grabbing the mic and calling out Aces and Eights, and wow, what do you know? There's nobody coming out there. Then which leads Rude to say that Storm, you are guilty as charged. It's like, I knew it all along. You're the one behind this. So, and it kind of makes you wonder if he isn't really behind this, or was somebody in the ring behind it? Could Rude possibly be behind it? Could Angle be behind it, or could a certain founder be behind this, or some? I mean, they're just playing that seed of doubt again, where it makes you think that could Storm really be behind this, and when it's found out that he's not, when they finally give the big payoff on this, then I tell you what, it's not having him there this week, the Ace and Eights faction, it's actually a good thing. It kind of, and again, it kind of puts that seed of doubt on to James Storm. So, all right, final thoughts are, show really kicked off with a bang with the tag team match. Kenny King going over on the X Division champion. That was a good thing. Make him a viable contender. Then no Aces and Eights this week. I mean, I thought. I mean, that's a kind of a. It is a good way to end the show this week. And then, with then having Storm and Bully Ray going at it, and Aries and Rude, and a couple things I didn't touch on, the ODB and EY segment. And it's like, God, that's getting kind of old. And it's like, no, they're still knockout tag team champions, but God, they haven't defended the titles in 2 months. God, I remember back in the day that if you didn't defend your title within 30 days, you were stripped. I'm just saying here. But then the Joseph Park markout segment, getting his pictures taken with Stinger, and like, yeah, that was all right too. So anyway, I am out for now, and I will see you later.